Before we ever faced an alien enemy, we first had to fight the universe itself, and it almost crushed us in the age when humanity still believed the universe to be gentle and silent. We learned the truth the hard way on worlds where gravity itself tried to crush our hope, where every step felt like lifting mountains, and every breath was borrowed from forces older than our sun. It began with a shimmer in the night sky above the outer colonies, a strange ripple in the darkness like the universe itself exhaled and bent, and from that ripple emerged the first signs of the worlds that would challenge everything we knew about survival, about courage, and about what it meant to stand together as one people against the impossible. The message that arrived from the deep space observatories was simple but heavy with fear. We have found planets with gravity 20 times stronger than Earth, and something lives there, something ancient, something powerful, something that for reasons unknown does not want us near their domain. The High Council debated for days, but fear was a luxury we could no longer afford. The colonies on the border had already gone silent one by one, dimming like candles in a storm. Humanity could not retreat, not again, not after losing so many to the void. We had to understand who these beings were, and why our presence had awakened their wrath. So the call went out across the fleets, summoning volunteers, warriors, researchers, engineers, anyone willing to face worlds where the very soil tried to break your bones. I remember the silence in the transport bay, when our names were read out one by one, the weight of destiny settling on our shoulders, heavier than anything we had ever felt before. Our ship, the Horizon of Dawn, descended toward the first heavy world, a crimson orb hanging like a wounded star against the endless night. The closer we came, the more we felt it, our hearts pounding, our muscles trembling as gravity curled its fingers around us, trying to pull us from the sky. The hull groaned, the floors shook, and every system fought to keep us from falling like a stone into that brutal world. When we finally landed, the ramp lowered with a scream of metal, and a blast of dust rose like a living storm. Our boots sank deep into soil packed denser than steel, and just standing upright felt like lifting a mountain. The air pushed against our lungs, thick and hostile, reminding us with every breath that this was not our world and it did not want us here. We moved in silence, slow, deliberate, each step sinking deeper than the last. Our suits compensated as best they could, but even with exoskeletal reinforcement, every movement felt like dragging chains forged from gravity itself. The horizon rippled under the weight of the world heat haze, twisting the landscape into monstrous shapes that seemed to shift when we blinked. And then we heard them. A tremor first, a faint pulse under the ground like a heartbeat echoing through the soil, then another stronger, then another, until the earth beneath us shivered, as if awakening from a long and violent dream. Shapes emerged from the fog, tall, heavy forms built for worlds like this, their bodies sculpted by centuries of crushing force. Their movements were slow but terrifyingly steady, each step sending vibrations up our legs that rattled our bones. They spoke without sound, their communication carried through the very ground, rippling into our feet and up our spines, a deep resonant language that bypassed the ears entirely. The message echoed in our minds: you do not belong, leave or be broken. But leaving was no longer an option. Our colonies, our families, our future had been taken, and whatever force lived on these worlds would not stop until we understood their purpose and their threat. So we stood our ground, trembling, struggling to remain upright under the brutal gravity, but refusing to bend, refusing to run, refusing to let fear crush our hope. Our commander stepped forward, slow but unyielding, her voice steady, even as her knees shook from the pressure. "We come to talk," she said, "we come to understand." The giants hesitated, their massive forms casting shadows that bent with the weight of the air. They studied us, their heavy eyes glowing faintly with something between curiosity and warning, and then they moved aside just enough for us to see the truth carved into the rock behind them. A monument older than any structure we had ever discovered, a tower rising from the soil like the spine of some ancient beast, its surface engraved with swirling patterns that pulsed like living veins. The closer we approached, the more we felt its presence, like it was watching us, examining us, judging whether we were worthy to stand in its shadow. The giants placed their hands upon the monument, and the ground shook again, not with anger this time, but with memory. Images filled our minds, flashes of their history, their creation, their purpose. We saw worlds forming under impossible gravity, stars collapsing under their own weight, and these beings rising from the wreckage, born to survive in places no other life could ever endure. They were guardians, protectors of a boundary older than human civilization, a boundary we had unknowingly crossed. Their warning was not a threat, it was a plea: turn back before you awaken something even they could not control. But it was too late. Across the sky a ripple tore through the clouds, splitting the heavens with a scream of light. The giants froze, every muscle in their colossal bodies tightening in fear. And for the first time we realized they were not our enemies. They were afraid of what had followed us, afraid of what we had awakened simply by existing near their world. The sky opened, and from its burning wound descended a shape of shifting shadows, a creature not made of flesh or metal, but of gravity itself, bending light, bending space, bending the world around it. With every breath it fell upon us, not with violence, but with weight, an invisible force pressing into our chests, into our bones, into our thoughts, crushing everything that made us human. I dropped to my knees, gasping as the world spun around me, the creature's presence flooding my mind with visions of collapsing stars, dead civilizations, torn apart by forces they could not fight. The giants roared, trying to shield us, but even they buckled under the creature's crushing will. And then something inside me cracked, not with pain, but with understanding. The creature was not a monster, it was a warning, a guardian of the guardians, ensuring that nothing weak or reckless could step beyond this boundary. So I stood. Slow, trembling, every muscle screaming under the weight, but I stood. The creature turned its gaze toward me, and the pressure doubled, tripled, then shattered like glass under a sudden gust of wind. The visions faded, the world steadied, and for a moment the creature seemed to pause, confused, perhaps impressed by the defiance of something so fragile. I lifted my hand slowly, and the creature drew back just a fraction, watching me with eyes that were not eyes, with senses older than galaxies, and in that breathless moment, I understood its question: are you worthy? Humanity was many things, flawed, reckless, fragile, but we were also relentless. Every world, every obstacle, every force that tried to break us only carved us into something stronger. And so I spoke with the last strength I had left: we seek peace, we seek knowledge, we wish to live, not to conquer. The creature's gravity shifted, a ripple of thought passing through it like a wave through a star. And then the pressure eased, falling away like a storm, fading into distant thunder. It rose into the air, twisting, bending the sky one last time before vanishing into the depths of the cosmos, leaving us trembling, but alive. The giants approached slowly and placed their heavy hands upon our shoulders, a gesture of respectful acceptance. We had passed their trial not with strength, but with spirit, and in their world of crushing weight that mattered more than anything. They taught us, then showed us the secrets of surviving worlds like theirs, the art of walking under crushing force, the rhythm of speaking through the earth, the wisdom of protecting boundaries that must never be crossed, and in return we shared our knowledge, our resilience, our dream of a universe where even the heaviest worlds could become bridges, not barriers. When we returned to our ship, gravity felt almost weightless, Earth's familiar pull like a gentle embrace welcoming us home. But we carried with us the memory of those worlds, the feeling of mountains resting upon our shoulders, the echo of ancient guardians watching from the shadows of impossible skies. Humanity had fought on their heaviest planets and survived not through power, but through unity and the quiet, unbreakable courage to stand even when the world tried to force us to our knees. And now, as our fleets travel deeper into the stars, we carry their lesson with us. The universe is vast and heavy, But so is the human spirit, and no world, no force, no ancient guardian will ever crush the will of a species that refuses to fall.